You try to just sketch, try to relax, try to think about the future, have fun, and just keep adding things. Don't think too much about it. Don't overthink your designs. Just execute, and along the way, you're gonna be finding out more details. But you need to just keep moving, right? You need to keep moving, keep executing, and look at your inspiration forms, and I bet you're gonna come up with a great design. Yeah. You were talking about the image, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. All right. Nice. I mean, nice sketches. It looks intriguing already. Looks good. So I want to know more.
Yeah. So it's like for me was like futurist.
Futurist, or
like robots.
yes.
So I try to draw 4 different concepts of the future.
Yeah.
One is more like 2035.
Okay.
Maybe others is like if the future advance more,
Yeah.
no?
Okay.
So the principal idea was the metallic surfaces,
Yeah.
and the big wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start to draw, is like very different forms.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, to me looks like maglev technology, right? A little bit. Let me show you an example. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Anyone heard about maglev technology? No? So it's just magnetic levitation technology. There's some applications already, but this is like a hardcore one, right? So they usually use it on trains, right? Let me go here. Okay, I'm gonna put an image. There you go. So looks to me like magnetic levitation, right? And this is the topic that you can take so you can develop your design. They use this in trains, and the way it works is you just have magnets that repel each other, and the car or the train in this example is literally floating, right? So you can come up with that type of technology, right? Just to back up your design.
Yes.
And this can help. This can help to make your design just look a little bit more, because you can be very futuristic and very out of the box and crazy, but just grab a piece of technology or at least a theory that validates your concept. Because otherwise people are gonna question like, okay, but how? Just tell me something, right? Tell me something that makes sense. That's it, right? So you don't have to go hardcore science, but just bring a concept.
Okay.
Let me look at another one. So we have another technology is called quantum levitation. Maybe this could be a little bit more interesting, right? And those are experiments that they're already doing it, right? And it's not too crazy to think about cars are going to be like that, right? So I think this quantum levitation works by having a magnets still, but is you have a piece of metal in a very, very low temperatures, right? Almost like freezing temperatures. And that's why you get some sort of like levitation, right? So those are experiments. You can take more in depth, but quantum levitation, right? And I'm pulling this because it looks like what you're trying to do with
These
your
are
cars.
called superconductors, to be very
There
specific.
you go. There you go. Right. So, and that's exactly what I think, guys. Like, just do something that makes sense. Just grab the piece of technology and try to apply it to your cars and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna use, right? And there's tons of videos on YouTube and tons of videos everywhere where you can see how it works, right? But basically, it wouldn't be that crazy to have the roads with those superconductors, right? And having some part of the cars in that low temperature, and you have levitation cars, right? You can have you can also envision another type of city, right? Maybe in 2035, there's a city that is going to be very out there, and they decided to do the infrastructure with superconductors, right? And we're going to have floating cars, levitating cars, right? That could be the future. We never know. But it's important to have a look at certain type of technologies, and then you can come up with stronger ideas, right? You can defend your ideas. Because if you were going to show a magnetic floating car, and you don't know what kind of technology, or you don't have any idea on how the car is going to work, you cannot defend your design. People are gonna say, "Well, you're lying. I mean, it's not true. I mean, it's not. I don't believe you." It's not gonna add that strength, right? But if you said, "Hey, you know what? There's something called quantum levitation. We have superconductors. Scientists are making experiments on that. We could apply that in certain parts of the infrastructure of the city, and also we can apply that technology in some of the parts of the car. So when they interact with each other, the car levitates and it's gonna save energy, blah blah blah." You can make a whole story out of it, but you need to be very sure what kind of technology are you gonna use. And as I said, it's just simple. Just grab one piece of technology, simple, apply it conceptually, right? I don't want you to come up with a mathematical formula, or the whole physics, applied physics essay. No, just apply it conceptually. How would you visualize? Because that's what we're doing here. We're playing around, right? So, does that make sense, Juan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. So, but yeah, I like the shapes. I think it's very interesting. Especially this guy. I mean, if we're talking about the future, this guy looks crazy with just one big wheel. That's interesting. So, because you can come up with many different ideas about this, right? Oops. Let's say I can use your inspiration. Oops. And I can try to come up with something, right? I would say think more about parts, right? Let's say maybe the lamps are vertical, right? Maybe the lamp is not going to be horizontal, right? Maybe it's not going to look like a face, right? Maybe you have a lamp vertical here, right? Maybe you have all these shapes so simple like that, right? And then maybe all of these can be the window, right? Maybe you have a graphic like that, right? Window. What brand are you thinking about, Juan? What is the car brand?
I
Do you have
don't.
anything?
No, I don't think.
What is your favorite car brand?
I think Mazda is one of my favorites.
There you go. What is it? What is the Mazda logo? Is that right? Okay, let me check. Story about Mazda, but Mazda. Okay, yeah, kind of looks like that.
Maybe the lights can be like the Peugeot 208, the new one,
From
like the
Mazda?
vertical. No, Peugeot, like lights, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
vertical,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
horizontal too. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it can be horizontal too, or a combination of both,
A
you said?
combination. Yes.
Yeah, we can have something like that, right? Thanks, Matu, for your thoughts. I mean, if you guys have ideas, as I said, don't hesitate and try to interrupt and let's talk. So, or if you have any question, just let me know. That's why I'm here. So and same, Juan, you can have maybe later the autonomous vehicles sensors, right? Or lasers to map, right? And
Yes.
all of these, just by putting piece of existing technology, it can look very futuristic, right? Maybe all of this is glass, right? Maybe you have a very interesting door here, right? Just put a little bit more effort on the shapes. Just try to go a little bit in depth, right? On the shapes, right? Because I think it's a very good concept already. So, and as I said, if you come up with the technology, you can make this thing look even more realistic, right? You know what? Just gonna put Mazda. I think that looks better. So, but yeah, that's true. We can make a sort of like a combination of lighting, right? Maybe you have something horizontal here, right? As Matu said, something horizontal, right? Maybe this is gonna be a air curtain, right? Which means the air is gonna pass through the car, right? And you can put with arrows, you can communicate that, right? There you go. The air is passing through there, right? Just like that, right? And maybe the other one, you have some more air passing through here, right? And that makes it look more aerodynamic too, right? And you have details on your inspiration image, right? Oops. So you have details here, and this can play a role on the aesthetics of the car too, right? Right. Well, you see, little by little, just by applying more details, you're gonna see a better resolution of the design, right? And this is how you do it. You try to just sketch, try to relax, try to think about the future, have fun, and just keep adding things. Don't think too much about it. Don't overthink your designs. Just execute, and along the way, you're gonna be finding out more details. But you need to just keep moving, right? You need to keep moving, keep executing, and look at your inspiration forms, and I bet you're gonna come up with a great design. So does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Juan, does it make sense?
Yes.
All good? All right.